Welcome back to Bible Quiz. We've got 80 questions for you guys again, so let's get started.
Round 1. True or false?
Question
Each
1.
question is
Elisha
worth 1
challenged the
point.
prophets of Baal to a showdown at Mount Carmel. False. 1 Kings 18:25. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, Choose you one bullock for yourselves, and dress it first, for ye are many, and call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under. 2. God told Ezekiel to shave his head and beard as a symbol of judgment for the Israelites. True. Ezekiel 5:1. And thou, Ezekiel, son of man, take thee a sharp knife, take thee a barber's razor, and cause it to pass upon thine head and upon thy beard. Then take the balances to weigh and divide the hair. 3. Jonah ran away to Judah to escape from God's command. False. Jonah 1:3. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid fare thereof, and went down to it, to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. 4. Joel urges the people to cry unto the Lord before destruction from the Almighty. True. Joel 1:14. Sanctify ye a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land into the house of the Lord your God, and cry unto the Lord. 5. Amos was a farmer and a tender of sycamore trees. False. Amos 7:14-15. Then answered Amos, I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit, and the Lord took me as I followed the flock, and the Lord said unto me, Go prophesy unto my people Israel. 6. Nahum questioned why God would use the cruel and evil Babylonians to punish Judah. False. Habakkuk 1:3. Why dost thou, God, shew me, Habakkuk, iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. 7. Micah criticized the leaders of Israel for exploiting the poor and vulnerable. True. Micah 2:1-2. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. 8. Haggai urged the people of Judah to prioritize rebuilding the temple. True. Haggai 1:7-8. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Consider your ways, go up to the mountain and bring wood and build the house, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, saith the Lord. 9. Micah emphasized God's presence and faithfulness amidst the challenges of rebuilding the temple. False. Haggai 2:4-5. For I am with you, saith the Lord of hosts, according to the word that I covenanted with you, and when ye came out of Egypt, so my spirit remaineth among you, fear ye not. 10. Zechariah foretells the coming of the Messiah riding on a donkey. True. Zechariah 9:9. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly and riding upon a donkey, and upon a colt, the foal of a donkey. 11. Malachi prophesied that Messiah would come to purify the sons of Levi. True. Malachi 3:3. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness. 12. God commanded the Israelites to observe the Sabbath as rest day. True. Exodus 20:10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou shalt nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. 13. Joshua and Caleb were the spies who returned a good report of the promised land. True. Numbers 14:6 or 7. And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb thy son of Jephunneh, and they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, The land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. 14. Aaron was forbidden to enter the promised land. False. Deuteronomy 34:4. And the Lord said unto him, This is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thee, thy seed. I have caused thee, Moses, to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither. 15. Othniel was the son of Kenaz, and the younger, brother of Caleb. True. Judges 3:9. And when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. 16. Orpah accompanied her mother-in-law to Bethlehem. False. Ruth 1:22. So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of the barley harvest. 17. Abimelech was the name of Naomi's husband, who died in Moab. False. Ruth 1:3. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left, and her 2 sons. 18. Jemima, Keziah, and Karen Happuch were the names of Job's 3 daughters. True. Job 42:14. And he, Job, called the name of the first Jemima, and the name of the second Keziah, and the name of the third Karen Happuch. 19. Job praised his 3 friends as faithful companions. False. Job 16:1-2. Then Job answered and said, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are ye all. 20. Amos was Isaiah's father. True. Isaiah 1:1. The vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah.
Round 2. Multiple choice. Every question is worth 2 points.
21. Who was the wife of King Ahab and an influential figure in the history of Israel? Jezebel, Jael or Jasel? Jezebel. 1 Kings 16:30-31. And Ahab the son of Omri did evil in the sight of the Lord above all that were before him. He took to wife Jezebel. 22. Which prophet was taken to heaven in a whirlwind in the chariot of fire? Elisha, Elijah, Enos, or Enoch? Elijah. 2 Kings 2:11. And it came to pass as they still went on and talked that, behold, there appeared chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. 23. His strength was lost after a woman cut his hair. Adonijah, Samson, Rehoboam, or Absalom? Samson. Judges 16:19. And she, Delilah, made him, Samson, sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man. She had caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. She began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. 24. Which book covers a prophet weeping over the destruction of Jerusalem? Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, or Amos? Jeremiah. Jeremiah 9:1. Oh, that my head were waters, and mine eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. 25. Which character was known for his patience and endurance through numerous trials and tribulations? Joseph, Job, Elijah, or Daniel? Job. Job 1:22. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. 26. Who made a decree to build the second temple in Jerusalem after the Israelites returned from exile in Babylon? Cyrus, Nehemiah, Zerubbabel, or Ezra? Cyrus. Ezra 6:3. In the first year of Cyrus the king, the same Cyrus the king made a decree concerning the house of God at Jerusalem. Let the house be rebuilt. 27. Who was known for his dream interpretations and being an advisor to kings in Babylon? Isaiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, or Jeremiah? Daniel. Daniel 2:47. The king answered unto Daniel and said, Of the truth it is that your God is a God of gods, and a Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. 28. Which figure was known for his incredible strength and for killing a lion with his bare hands? David, Samson, Joab, or Goliath? Samson. Judges 14:5. Then went Samson down, and his father and his mother, behold, a young lion roared against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him. He rent him as he would have rent a kid, and he had nothing in his hand. 29. Which book contains a collection of wise sayings attributed to King Solomon? Ecclesiastes, Songs of Solomon, Proverbs, or Job? Proverbs. Proverbs 1:1-2. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. 30. Which prophet was a contemporary of Jeremiah and also prophesied about the fall of Jerusalem? Zephaniah, Hosea, Obadiah, or Micah? Zephaniah. Zephaniah 1:1-2. The word of the Lord which came unto Zephaniah the son of Cushi. I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith the Lord. 31. Who tries to flee from God's command to preach to the people of Nineveh? Amos, Nahum, Obadiah, or Jonah? Jonah 1:1. Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, the great city. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. 32. Which book covers the visions of the end times? Ezekiel, Zechariah, Daniel, or Malachi? Daniel 2:28. But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. 33. Who was called by God using a vision of a scroll that he had to eat? John, Joel, Ezekiel, or Malachi? Ezekiel 3:1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou find this. Eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. 34. Who wrote a book about a valley of dry bones? Haggai, Zechariah, Ezekiel, or Malachi? Ezekiel 37:1. The hand of the Lord was upon me, Ezekiel, and carried me on the Spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. 35. She laughed when she heard the news of conceiving in old age. Sarah, Rebecca, Elizabeth, or Keturah? Sarah, Genesis 18:12. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? 36. Which book talks about King Josiah's reforms and the discovery of the book of the law in the temple? 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles, or 2 Chronicles? 2 Kings 22:10. And Shaphan the scribe shewed the king of Josiah, saying, Hilkiah the priest hath delivered me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. 7. Who requested to curse the Israelites? Balaam, Barak, Baal, or Balak? Balak. Numbers 23:11. And Balak said unto Balaam, What hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse mine enemies, and behold, thou hast blessed them altogether. 8. What was the name of Abraham's brother, the father of Lot? Nahor, Haran, Terah, or Milcah? Haran. Genesis 11:27. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begot Lot. 39. Where did Haran die? Ur of the Chaldees, Canaan, Shinar, or Haran? Ur of the Chaldees. Genesis 11:27-28. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. 40. Which descendant of Noah founded the Babylonian Empire? Cush, Nimrod, Ramah, or Ashkenaz? Nimrod. Genesis 10:8-9. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it said, Even as Nimrod the mighty hunter before the Lord, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. 41. Who was Canaan's father, the ancestor of the Canaanite people? Ham, Shem, Japheth, or Lot? Ham. Genesis 9:18. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham, and Japheth, and Ham is the father of Canaan. 42. What did Joel prophesy about in the last chapter? Victory over nations, day of the Lord, new king, or rebuilding the temple? Day of the Lord. Joel 3:14. Multitudes. Multitudes in the valley of the decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. 43. What did Amos see to represent God's judgment on Israel? Sword, flood, plumb line, or fire? Plumb line. Amos 7:8. And the Lord said unto me, Amos, what seest thou? And I said, a plumb line. Then said the Lord, behold, I will set a plumb line in the midst of my people Israel. I will not again pass by them any more. 44. What specific misdeed did Amos call out the wealthy and powerful for doing? Exploiting the poor and needy, unjust wars and conquests, falsify weights, forcing the poor into slavery. Exploiting the poor and needy. Amos 4:1. Hear this word, ye kind of Bashan, that are in the mountains of Samaria, which oppress the poor, which crush the needy, which say to their masters, bring and let us drink. 45. What's the primary focus of Obadiah's message concerning Edom? Restoration for Edom, vengeance against Judah, price of Edom, or prosperity for Edom? Pride of Edom. Obadiah 1:3. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? 46. What symbolic calamity did Obadiah use to illustrate the final judgment on the house of Esau? Great flood, consuming fire, earthquake, or darkness? Consuming fire. Obadiah 1:18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. 47. What specific consequences did Micah prophesy that the people of Israel would face because of their sins? Destruction and loss of property, famine and drought, plague and disease, or internal strife and civil war? Destruction and loss of property. Micah 3:12. Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest. 48. What city is the focus of Nahum's message of judgment and destruction? Babylon, Tyre, Jerusalem, or Nineveh? Nineveh. Nahum 3:1. The burden of Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum the Elkoshite. 49. What specific sins did the people of Nineveh commit that provoked God's judgment? Blasphemy, violence, neglect of sacrifices, or disrespect of the temple? Violence. Nahum 3:1-2. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. Their prey departeth not. The noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots. 50. What meaning does Nahum want to convey with his use of lions and lionesses in Nineveh? Symbol of strength, symbol of protection, symbol of peace, or symbol of wisdom? Symbol of strength. Nahum 2:11. Where is the dwelling of the lions and the feeding place of the young lions, where the lion, even the old lion, walked and the lions whelped, and none made them afraid? 1. What reassurance did Nahum provide to God's people while prophesying the downfall of Nineveh? Military victory, rebuilding of the temple, restoration of lost territories, or God's judgment? God's judgment. Nahum 1:7. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. 52. How did God bring his judgment upon the people of Judah? Natural disasters, ruthless nation, plague and disease, or civil uprising? Ruthless nation. Habakkuk 1:6. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, a bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land, to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. 53. What was Habakkuk's response to God's revelation of his plan to use the Babylonians to judge Judah? Anger against God, pleads for mercy, denial of God's plan, or faith and trust? Faith and trust. Habakkuk 3:17-18. Although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines, yet I will rejoice in the Lord, I will joy in the God of my salvation. 54. What sins did the people of Judah commit that caused God's judgment in Zephaniah? Sabbath breaking, idolatry and apostasy, neglect of sacrifices, or disrespect of the temple? Idolatry and apostasy. Zephaniah 1:4-5. I will also stretch out mine hand upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place in the name of the Chemarims with the priests and them that worship the host of heaven. 5. What feature of God did Zephaniah emphasize as a source of hope and trust in coming judgment? God's justice, God's power, God's control, or God's wisdom? God's justice. Zephaniah 3:5. The just Lord is in the midst of thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. 56. What image did Zechariah see that conveyed God's messages about Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem? Burning bush, 4 horns, fiery furnace, or a valley of dry bones? Four horns. Zechariah 1:18-21. Then lifted I up mine eyes, and saw, and behold 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, What be these? And he answered me, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. 7. Who killed Eglon, the king of Moab? Shamgar's Jephthah, Abdon, or Ehud? Ehud. Judges 3:21. And Ehud put forth his left hand and took the dagger from its right thigh and thrust it into his Eglon belly. 58. What did the Lord tell Isaiah to do with a great roll? Write in it with a man's pen, burn it in the fire, bury it in the ground, or break it with a hammer? Write in it with the man's pen. Isaiah 8:1. Moreover, the Lord said unto me, Take thee a great roll, and write in it with man's pen concerning Maher-shalal-Hash-Baz. 59. Which king of Judah is not mentioned at the beginning of Jeremiah's ministry? Zedekiah, Josiah, Jehoiakim, or Jehu? Jehu. Jeremiah 1 1 through 3. The words of Jeremiah the son of Hilkiah in the days of Josiah and the days of Jehoiakim the son of Josiah king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah the son of Josiah king of Judah. 60. Which king of Judah is known for his extensive religious reforms to restore the worship of the Lord? Jehu, Asa, Hezekiah, or Josiah? Josiah, 2 Kings 23:19, and all the houses also of the high places that were in the cities of Samaria, which the kings of Israel had made to provoke the Lord to anger, Josiah took away and did to them according to all the acts that he had done in Bethel.
Round 3. Short answer. Each question is worth 3 points.
61. Who built an ark to escape the great flood? Noah. Genesis 6:13-14. And God said unto Noah, Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. 62. Who spent 3 days and 3 nights in the fish belly? Jonah. Jonah 1:17. Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. 63. Who was the first king of Israel? Saul. 1 Samuel 15:1. Samuel also said unto Saul, The Lord sent me to anoint thee to be a king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. 64. What book contains the story of Joseph and his colorful coat? Genesis 37:3. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. 65. Who delivered the Israelites from slavery in Egypt? The Lord. Deuteronomy 5:6. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. 66. Who had a famous encounter in a burning bush? Moses. Exodus 3:2. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him, Moses, in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. 67. Who was known for his loyalty and devotion to his friend David? Jonathan. 1 Samuel 18:3. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. 68. Who were the first 2 sons of Adam and Eve? Cain and Abel. Genesis 4:1-2. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. 69. Who was sold into slavery by his brothers? Joseph. Genesis 37:27. Come, and let us sell him, Joseph, to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. 70. What city did Lot and his family flee from before it was destroyed by fire and brimstone? Sodom. Genesis 19:23-24. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. 71. What was the name of Jacob's youngest son? Benjamin. Genesis 35:18. And it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benji. 72. Where did the Lord confound the language of all the people? Babel. Genesis 11:1-2. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. 73. What was the name of Abraham's second wife? Keturah. Genesis 25:1. Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. She was the mother of a famous twin. Rebekah. Genesis 25:22. And the children Esau and Jacob struggled together within her, Rebekah, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. 75. What plant grew to give shade to Jonah but eventually withered? A gourd. Jonah 4:6-7. And the Lord God prepared a gourd and made it to come up over Jonah, that it might be a shadow over his head to deliver him from his grief. But God prepared a worm when the morning rose the next day, and it smote the gourd that it withered. 76. Micah stated that the future Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. Micah 5:2. But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be a ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. 77. What plague was the most devastating to the Egyptians? Death of all the firstborn. Exodus 12:30. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. 78. Who offered strange fire before the Lord? Nadab and Abihu. Leviticus 10:1. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. 79. What did the Lord mandate for a high priest in choosing a wife? A virgin. Leviticus 21:10-13-14. And he that is the high priest among his brethren, he shall take a wife in her virginity. A widow or a divorced woman or profane or an harlot, these shall he not take, but he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife. 80. Who was commanded to make 2 silver trumpets to call the congregation? Moses. Numbers 10:1-2. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them. that thou mightest use them for the calling of the assembly and for the journeying of the camps. And that's all the questions we have for today. So remember, put your score down below, then share it with your friends and family to compare your scores. And we'll see you in the next one.